Hey guys, welcome back to Tanks for the Final. Been a little while since the last video, but never mind that, let's get straight into it. So the theme of today's video is bad luck. Now, there's going to be bad luck on our team, or should I say Cap's team, and there's going to be bad luck on the enemy's team. So it's two videos, or two replays I should say, that you'll see today, both in the Hellcat, spoiler alert, because it's just such a good turreted TD. Now, the first game is tier 6 game here on Westfield, so he's top tier, and the Hellcat being as good as it is shouldn't have an issue, at least, you know, contributing to the game reasonably well. So he's taken up, you know, your typical TD spot here, back D1. It's generally where you'll find most TDs, and he gets a nice shot there into the Stug. You'll find most TDs here, and on its in this first kill there. So just over a minute into the game, one already dead. However, as you'll look and see, the enemy is already killed two. Tier 4 tanks, I would add, but still, you know, still killed 2. So we're 1-2 at the moment here on Cap's team. We've got an OI sitting up there, an OI experimental backing him up. So heavy wise, he's pretty well sorted on the hill. There's a good amount of support up there, and he's sitting here waiting for the other heavies like this VK 3001H to come over the hill. Not a very fast tank, the VK, and that shot went high, but he's still got a shot on him if he can. No, that was probably never going to hit anyway. But the one thing that you'll find about the Hellcat is Cap has 6th sense on this tank. There's a second kill. Has 6th sense on this tank. And even though he's not following the magical rule of 15 meters behind concealment, so that they cannot see you, he still wasn't spotted when he was firing there. It attests to how good the camera rating is on the Hellcat. The fact that he also was in concealment and had a camo net helps as well. So he feels like he should be pushing quite aggressively over the top now, even though his heavies are still getting spanked badly. So that OI is a one shot for anything on the team that can penetrate it, and there we go, hits it, takes him out. Not all bad news though. I mean, they are winning 5-4. You may also notice that Cap has no premium rounds in the Hellcat. And that's more to the fact that you just do not need them in this tank, because its penetration is good enough for the tanks it faces, and if you can't hit them from the side, it's got the speed and the mobility to get around the side of them and put shots in there. So the enemy has brought it back, so it's now 6-6 after 2 kills right there, and the Hetzer is just waiting for a shell. Although he is in a very good position, never going to hit that one there. You also notice that the OI experimental fired HE. That is a very, very small margin of error in that shot. And he gets it, well done. So that is Cap's 3rd kill. Score's still tied, no, now they're 8-7. So his team's not doing too well. You couldn't say that this match has been one-sided. They're very evenly matched. So now what Cap's going to do? He's going to make use of the amazing view range on this tank and the good camo to just see if he can spot that Type T-34 again. As we see that OI fire and HE shell, that was actually quite beautiful. There was a little bit of a firework-esque look there. So anyway, so what Cap's doing is he's sitting on the hill, just seeing where he's needed. He's got the mobility to get anywhere, but he doesn't want to go to one spot if he's needed in another spot, which is very smart. It's very good play. There is a Hetzer down there that he doesn't quite have a shot on, behind a building, something like that. And so then we get a kill back, and we take one out as well. So scores sitting still even, 9-8. And they could have gone wrong in so many ways. Very, very lucky that did not. That could have been the end of the game right there for Cap. Enemy has clawed it back, so it is 9-9 at the moment. So still very evenly well matched. If you look at the tank placement of Cap's team, they are quite spread out, so it's good and bad. Good because you have view range over the majority of the map, and you have good map control. The bad news is, if any tank gets outnumbered, 2 to 1, they stand a very low chance of being able to survive that. The good news is, the enemy team is just as spread out as Cap's team. So, it's that was a beautiful shot there. Didn't aim, just, he let Uncle Sam guide that shell. He did take a hit there from the Type T-34, and the scores are now tied 10-10. At the moment, he is heading back to help. Well, can't really help the artillery anymore, because the artillery is dead. However, there is the VK there. He's going to put a blind shot into there. Now, if it was me, I would have kept the gun aimed where it was, hoping that the VK hadn't moved, fired another shot and hoped for a kill. Scores now tied up again at 12-12. However, the enemy does have an artillery on their team. So you could almost say that was an unfortunate bounce, just as I was talking about not needing premium ammunition. It was just an awkward angle, and there he goes. He gets his 5th kill. So Cap is now sitting on a top gun. There's 3 tanks left on his team. T1 Heavy, T67, and on the enemy team they've got 2 tanks as well. So as you can see, there's no one left in this game that's really been a slouch. That T1 Heavy sort of did hold back a lot of the game, but he was also up on the hill trying to support his heavies. But does leave 1 artillery and 1 medium tank on the enemy team. So it's not over, because that Hummel on the enemy team could very well one-shot Cap in his open top Hellcat. So what he's doing now is he's sitting in a bush. Great concealment, great camo, gets that camo net up, gets those binoculars up to see what he can spot. At this stage, he's still got over 7 minutes left in the game. It's not a bad play, because the enemy, to win, need to kill his tanks. And as you can see there, the T1 Heavy is quite low on health. But at one point in this game, one of the teams is going to have to make a move. That T67 was just shot by that Type T34. Cap sees it, now he's hungry. That Type T34 is all alone and is focusing that T67, but the Hummel finishes him off. Now the scores are tied up. Sorry, finishes T1 Heavy, not the T67. The scores are all tied up again, 13-all. That Type T34 though is a one shot for Cap if he manages to get a shot in. And if he manages to get a shot in, then it'll be a top gun for him. The T67 is coming up to support him. He's just going to see if he can get his binoculars up. The T67 is moving in for the kill. Cap's providing overwatch, so it's a good idea. However, what he may do is he may have just gifted a kill to this T67, because the Type T34, he's just going for it now. He's going hell for leather. And then that Hummel almost got that T67. Very lucky indeed. So now all that's left is the Hummel. You could pretty much say that it's in the bag. All Cap has to do is, I don't know, ram the Hummel and he'd win. First of all, they've got to spot the Hummel. So let's see if we can't find this little beauty. He's been spotted, so the Hummel is up here. There's the Hummel. Alright, Cap, go on. Ram him. okay, or don't ram him. It's okay, one shot would have done it, and the T67 ammo racks him. So it was a win, but a little unfortunate for Cap that he didn't get that 6th kill. Anyway, so now, tier 6 game, we're here on Wide Park, and in the Hellcat again. What happens in this game is nothing less than unfortunate, to put it mildly. So, when Cap only sent me this video last night, so it's still quite fresh. It happened last night, and it's gonna have a similar theme to the last one. You know, bad luck, but this time it's not Cap that has the bad luck, or at least I didn't think it was. But let's just see how the game plays out. He's picked up a nice spot, good TD spot on Wide Park here. He's moving up just to see if he can get a better position on those tanks that are cresting the ridge. See if he can get settled in, get his camo net up, get his binoculars up, and first shot missed. So if you can play along at home here and count with me as to how many shots Cap misses before he actually scores a hit. So now we're at two shots and 3 shots. Now the accuracy on the Hellcat's not that bad. There's just not a lot of the tank showing for Cap to be able to get a shot in there. So if you're following along, we're at 3. There's 4. There's a Chinu being cheeky up there. So we're at 4 shots missed so far. 5 shots missed so far. Now, any other game, if you had missed 5 shots, your first 5 shots, there we go. 5 shots missed before he gets a damaging hit. And he's going to have to be satisfied with that, because that's going to be his only damaging hit for quite a while. If we're still counting, that's 6 missed shots. Spoiler alert, he does miss a lot in this tank, but we can't hold that against him. Some people just aren't that capable with a good gun in their hands. I'm going to get a slap for that one. But anyway, so his team's doing quite well. They're winning 3-2. Just lost another tank there. But as you'll see, the enemy actually has quite good map control. They're moving in from the west side. They're really bunching our tanks up, which is good and bad. Good because it means all of our firepower is in one spot and can focus. Bad because they can be taken from so many different angles. Now, what Cap's doing, Cap is basically looking after this flank by himself, which, you know, is okay. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, you would prefer to have some support over here. As you can see, there's an ELC, a light tank, sitting up on the hill behind him, because that's where light tanks should be. I mean, if you're in a light tank and you're not sitting behind the tank destroyers, are you even a light tank? So the enemy team has brought it back, so it's 3-5, not in Cap's favour at the moment. And as you can see, his team is bunched up in the western part of the map. SU-100 there, he's one to keep an eye on our team. It just takes out the Leopard, no trouble at all. I mean, when the SU-100 has 390 alpha damage on its top gun, it can one-shot a lot of the tanks that it faces at the lower tiers. Now there's that pesky Chinu again, and how many shots is that now? 7 missed shots, but hey, let's not hold it against him. We don't want to hurt his self-esteem. So what Cap is doing now is he's taking the initiative. He's going to slowly move up the eastern flank and see what he can see, and if he gets the chance, go after some artillery as well. That's always fun. But as you can also see, the enemy has complete map control. So even though there's still 5 tanks left on Cap's team, little jump, not quite as dramatic as the one in the last replay, but you know, we can't hold that against him either. And now he's been spotted. However, he was probably spotted before he got into the ruins here, as Sixth Sense does take a second or two to actually kick in. And he's found himself a gorilla. Now his team is losing 8-11. The SU-100 is on 4 kills, but the T-50-2 on the enemy team is also on 4 kills. And he takes a hit there. Now, it was pretty unavoidable, that shot, because the gorilla had the advantage of not needing to push because their team is winning. I mean, there is 6 tanks left on the enemy team, 5 tanks left on the enemy team, and only 4 on his team. But artillery is still hampering his position. Now, it's likely to be the bishop. The reason I say that is because of the arc the bishop has to get over. Missed shot number 8. To get over the buildings. So the enemy is capping at the moment, and I believe it's the Skoda T25 or the Panzer T25, the German Tier 5 premium tank. It was actually a Czech tank, but it was introduced as a German tank first. Losing 10-11, and T-50-2 just takes out his last artillery piece. Now what Cap's doing is he would try and avoid the Cap if he could, but he didn't want to get spotted going the left way. So he goes through the Cap circle. The enemy knows that he is around about there. And there you go, the Panzer T25 was taken out by the SU-100. So the SU-100 now on a Top Gun, or it has received a Top Gun, I should say. And there's the enemy's M44. Now this thing is dangerous. However, it appears he was reloading. So Cap got an easy kill there. Now there's left. So there's Cap on 2 kills, SU-100 on 6 kills, the enemy ARL, the enemy Bishop, and the enemy T-50-2. Or should I just say the T-50-2 and the enemy Bishop. Now, T-50-2 is recently reintroduced tank. It was a gift tank for people that had been playing a certain amount of time. As some of you may remember, it was removed years and years ago because it was so unbalanced with the physics that were in that current game. But now that everything's been reworked, the tank itself has been reworked, it's more balanced. I wouldn't say it is balanced, but it's more balanced. And the T-50-2 just takes out the SU-100. So now it's 13-14, but it's about to be 14-14. So that was a nice kill on the Bishop. Bishop didn't really have much that he could do, and you might be wondering, why was he so far up? Now, the Bishop has great rate of fire and a great gun arc in terms of how high it shoots the shell. Its gun traverse though is horrible, so it can't shoot far to the left or right before it has to move. But it's range is pretty mediocre, just like Cap's driving there. So starting to see another trend in these two replays is that Cap's driving is well, you know, average. We'll be nice and we'll say average. He isn't a Hellcat. So the Hellcat is very fast forward, very fast backward, but its traverse speed, both in its hull and its turret, is quite average, just like its driving. So it matches up. Now, Cap is on 3 kills. The SU-100 on his team finished on 7 kills. Matilda finished on 4 kills. So all the kills in this game on his team have been by 3 tanks. As you can see on the enemy team, there is a T-50-2 that has a Top Gun, but the kills are spread out. So it's not always right to assume, but you would generally assume that basically a few tanks did the majority of the damage on Cap's team, and it was more spread out on the enemy team. So you can put that down to Cap's team has a few better players overall, but the enemy team overall had a greater distribution of good players, not necessarily better players. So it is what it is. It's matchmaking. It's World of Tanks. So what Cap's doing here is he is sitting in a bush with his camo net, with his binoculars, and he's waiting, because he's got 5 minutes. He doesn't need to do anything drastic. He's got the speed to get to the enemy cap, or to his own cap, because the enemy cap's right there. So if it got to that magic time, of 1 minute 50, he could easily just hop on the enemy's cap. Or if the T50-2 decided to cap out, he could easily get back there and reset it. Now, some of you more eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that T50-2's health isn't that high. He is basically a one-shot for cap now. So, if he can get the first shot in, Cap's won the game. However, if the T50-2 tracks Cap and gets around him, then it's basically game over. The rate of fire on that light tank is astronomical. It's absolutely ridiculous. So Cap's doing the right thing here. He's a TD. There's no point chasing a light tank when you're going to put yourself in a position where you may not actually catch him off guard, or you might catch him to the side of you, or you might just spot him right in front of you. So the one thing Cap's doing here is he's holding his fire. He doesn't want to fire and give his position away without guaranteeing a kill. And so you can see that the T50-2 is only on double digits, but also it appears his driving isn't the best either. But all he needs is one shot. You could even suggest that he load HE. Now he's fired there and then he moved, but he didn't get spotted. So it's another thing to attest to the camo rating of the Hellcat. It is incredible. Now what you would assume, with how well the T50-2 is done, apart from his shocking driving there, he's been spotted. Cap's looking at him, wondering what he's doing. So Cap's going to wait here for a moment and just see what's going to happen. The ELC pinging the map for some reason. Just so you know, you map pingers that do that, there is a special place in hell reserved for you. We don't need that when we're in game and it's intense and things like that. We know what we've got to do. It's all well and good, trying to help out, but pinging 30 times in 20 seconds is just not helpful. So Cap realises that he can take a hit. He's going to go to where the last known position of the T50-2 was, and there he is. He's still there. Why would he still be there? Unless he had flipped himself. Well. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and also thanks to the guys on Patreon that support me. I know today's video was a little longer than I would normally do, but I just had to show you both of these videos. As always, have a good time. We'll see you next time, and thanks.